Welcome back to the Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I tell you, it's important for people to, it's their business, it's their life purpose, in my opinion, to really get a grasp of what living is all about. And I stumbled on the Ann Grady group and Ann's book, 52 Strategies for Life, Love, and Work. And I think she has a great story, and I wanted to share it with the audience. And I wanted to also share her thoughts on this important concept, because I tell you, we talk a lot in this program about how to become financially successful and how to, turn your business around and those type of things. Those are all very good concepts and ideas, but it's really imperative for people to figure out how to be happy, and that's what I think you're kind of become your life purpose. Ann?
Good morning. Yeah, so my story started with my son Evan, who is severely mentally ill, and raising him while I was a corporate motivational speaker, realizing that many of the strategies I was using to survive at home translated into the corporate world.
Okay, tell us, elaborate on that.
Well, for example, I think that a lot of times we feel like we have to do everything. Whether you are a high-powered CEO or an executive or a stay-at-home mom, we often feel like we have to balance everything flawlessly. And you can be all of those things for a short amount of time, but it's not sustainable. So really, the focus is on creating very small, subtle shifts in behavior over a long period of time so that you can see some pretty dramatic results and experience success.
Right. And so instead of trying to dramatically transform every aspect of your life, maybe you work on walking for an hour every day, and sticking to that one concept for a long enough period of time to where you have enough traction, where you add maybe a daily devotional time to get yourself spiritually centered. Is that the kind of thing you're talking about?
Yes, I think, many of us feel very overwhelmed. And so my take on it is figure out what your top handful of your priorities are and spend 80% of your time on them without apologizing. For me, even walking an hour seems a little overwhelming. So I would say take a 15-minute walk at lunch every day this week. Something as simple as that. Or, really rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 of where you feel you are. 1, not at all where you want to be. 10, exactly where you want to be in the 5 or 6 priorities that you've identified, and pick one of those and set a very small, measurable goal that you can accomplish this week. So any small, slight edge strategy, whether it's managing your time better, dealing with interruptions at work, getting more exercise, keeping your staff engaged, all of these things can be done a little bit at a time, but when we try to do them all at once, it can get pretty overwhelming and unmanageable. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. So 52 strategies, kind of give us a couple.
Well, one strategy would be to start being proactive rather than reactive. So many of us kind of react to the life we live in every direction. If you guys have ever gotten a phone call and looked at your caller ID and just got that sinking pit in your stomach, that's a reaction. And the challenge when we do that is that we're relinquishing control. So rather than reacting, have a strategy. A couple of those could be things like minimizing 2 interruptions a day. Something as simple as that can equate to an extra 23 days a year. Or making sure that you are focusing on your priorities. Most of us do a great job prioritizing our schedule, but we don't do a great job scheduling our priorities and making time for what's most important for us. Another example would be to take control of technology.
Sure.
I know it sounds like a foreign concept, but turn off your new email alert. It's kind of like crack, and we get addicted to that rather than really focusing on what's important at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you? And I guess that would be one of the examples that would go back to another one of your strategies, which helps end some of the disruptions.
Yeah, so I think that we train people how to treat us. It could be as simple as having candy on your desk and encouraging drive-bys. It could be stopping what you're doing every time you're interrupted and enabling that behavior. And so many of us do it, but we sigh and roll our eyes and we're passive-aggressive about it, but we're still sending the message that it's okay to interrupt us at any time. So really explaining that's not acceptable.
Most of us are victims most of us pretend we're victims when we're really volunteers.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Yep, and Grady is an author, and delighted to have her on the program. Do want you to check out our website, success52.com, success52.com. Check out her book, 52 Strategies for Life, Love, and Work, and thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and this is The Price of Business.